I am Dr. Evelyn Hart, and today we are going to address something that countless men over 60 experience but rarely discuss openly. If you have been wondering why your body no longer responds the way it used to, or if you have been feeling confused about changes in your intimate moments with yourself, this conversation is specifically designed for you. What we are going to explore today is not just about physical technique, but about understanding the profound hormonal and physiological transformations that occur as we age. At Vital Hormone, we believe that knowledge empowers you to work with your body rather than against it, and that is exactly what we will accomplish together in the next 25 minutes. Let me begin by asking you this question. Have you noticed that the approaches you have used for decades no longer provide the same satisfaction or comfort they once did? Perhaps you have experienced moments of frustration, wondering if something is fundamentally wrong with your body. I want to reassure you immediately that what you are experiencing is not dysfunction or failure. What you are experiencing is the natural evolution of your hormonal landscape, your circulatory system, and your nervous system responding to the passage of time. For over 2 decades, I have specialized in helping men navigate these changes with dignity, understanding, and practical solutions. What I have learned through countless consultations is that most men receive absolutely no guidance about how to adapt their intimate practices as they age. Society simply assumes that men will figure it out on their own, which leaves so many feeling isolated and concerned about changes that are completely normal. Today, we are going to change that narrative entirely. We are going to discuss the science behind what is happening in your body, why traditional approaches may no longer serve you, and most importantly, how to develop new practices that honor your changing physiology while maintaining pleasure, comfort, and confidence. Let us start with the fundamental understanding of what aging does to the male body, particularly regarding hormonal balance and intimate function. The first major change we need to discuss is testosterone decline. Testosterone is not just about libido, though that is certainly part of its role. This crucial hormone influences mood regulation, energy levels, muscle mass maintenance, cognitive function, and yes, sexual response. As we age, testosterone production naturally decreases, typically beginning in our 30s and accelerating after 60. This decline does not mean that desire disappears completely, but it does mean that arousal may become less spontaneous and require more intentional cultivation. Think of it like this. In your younger years, arousal might have been like a light switch, instant and predictable. Now it may be more like a dimmer switch, requiring patience and the right conditions to reach its full potential. The second major change involves your circulatory system. The small blood vessels that supply the genital area can become less elastic and less efficient over time. This is similar to what happens throughout your cardiovascular system as part of natural aging. These changes mean that erections may take longer to develop, may require more stimulation to maintain, and may not reach the same firmness they once did. This is particularly noticeable during solo intimate moments, when you are relaxed and not experiencing the heightened arousal that might occur with a partner. The third significant change affects your nervous system. The nerve endings that once responded immediately to touch may become less sensitive. This is not damage, but rather a natural part of how our nervous systems age. Sensations may feel more muted, may take longer to register, or may require different types of stimulation to feel pleasurable. Understanding this helps explain why techniques that worked perfectly for decades may now feel unsatisfying or even uncomfortable. Now let me address something that causes a great deal of unnecessary distress. Many men, when they notice these changes, instinctively try to compensate by doing what they have always done, but more intensely. They may grip more firmly, move more rapidly, or focus more intensively on reaching climax. This response is completely understandable, but it actually works against your changing physiology rather than with it. This brings us to what I call the 5 critical adaptations that every man over 60 should understand and implement. These are not just technical adjustments, but fundamental shifts in how you approach intimate self-care that can dramatically improve your experience and protect your long-term health. The first critical adaptation involves grip pressure. As we age, the skin throughout our body, including the genital area, becomes thinner and more delicate. What once felt pleasurable may now cause irritation or even minor injury. A grip that was comfortable in your 40s may now compress blood vessels, reduce sensitivity, and create friction that leads to soreness or skin damage. The solution is to consciously reduce your grip pressure. Think of holding something precious and fragile rather than gripping a tool. This gentler approach allows for better blood flow, protects sensitive tissues, and often results in more nuanced and satisfying sensations. The second critical adaptation concerns the speed and rhythm of movement. When your nervous system processes sensations more slowly, rapid movements can actually overwhelm your ability to experience pleasure. It is like trying to tune into a radio station with too much interference. The signal is there, but it cannot be properly received. Slower, more deliberate movements allow your brain adequate time to process and interpret the sensations as pleasurable rather than overwhelming. This is not about being less enthusiastic, but about being more in tune with your body's current communication style. The third adaptation addresses lubrication, which becomes exponentially more important as we age. Many men have been conditioned to believe that lubrication is unnecessary for male solo activity, but this belief can lead to significant discomfort and even injury after 60. As testosterone levels decline, natural lubrication decreases throughout the body. Combined with thinner, more delicate skin, this creates conditions where friction can cause micro tears, irritation, and delayed soreness that may not be immediately apparent. Using a high-quality, unscented, water-based lubricant is not a sign of dysfunction, but a sign of wisdom and self-care. The fourth adaptation involves redefining success and letting go of performance pressure. In our younger years, climax might have been the primary goal and measure of a satisfying experience. After 60, this narrow definition of success can actually work against pleasure and satisfaction. Your body may take longer to reach arousal, may experience waves of sensation rather than linear progression, and may find satisfaction in experiences that do not necessarily end in climax. This is not failure, but a different kind of intimacy with yourself. Learning to appreciate and enjoy the journey rather than focusing solely on the destination often leads to more fulfilling experiences overall. The fifth adaptation is about developing body awareness and responsiveness. After decades of routine, it becomes easy to go through motions automatically without really paying attention to what your body is communicating. However, intimate self-care after 60 requires more attention and responsiveness than ever before. If something feels uncomfortable, that is valuable information to adjust rather than push through. If something feels unexpectedly good, that is worth exploring and savoring. You are not performing for anyone else. You are communicating with your own body and learning its new language. Now let me walk you through a comprehensive approach that incorporates all of these adaptations into a practical, sustainable routine. This is not just about technique, but about creating an environment and mindset that supports pleasure, relaxation, and self-connection. Begin by creating the right environment for yourself. This means setting aside adequate time, at least 20 to 30 minutes, when you will not be interrupted or rushed. Your nervous system needs to feel safe and relaxed to respond optimally. Consider dimming harsh lights, perhaps playing soft music, and ensuring the temperature is comfortable. These environmental factors are not luxuries. They are practical tools that help your body shift into a receptive state. Before any physical contact, spend a few minutes focusing on your breathing. This is not merely relaxation technique, but a practical way to improve blood flow, reduce stress hormones, and help your nervous system transition into a more receptive state. Take slow, deep breaths through your nose, allowing your exhale to be longer than your inhale. This simple practice can significantly improve your body's ability to respond to touch and sensation. Apply lubrication generously and early in the process, not as an afterthought when you notice dryness. Think of this as preparing your skin to receive and transmit sensation effectively. Take time to spread the lubrication thoroughly, allowing this application to become part of the intimate experience rather than just a practical necessity. When you begin physical contact, start gradually and explore different types of touch. Rather than going directly to the most sensitive areas, consider this an opportunity to discover what your body enjoys now. Try different pressures, different rhythms, different temperatures. Pay attention to areas that may have become more or less sensitive than they used to be. This exploration is not a means to an end, but valuable in itself. Throughout the experience, maintain awareness of your breathing and your overall physical comfort. If you notice tension building in your shoulders, jaw, or elsewhere in your body, take a moment to consciously relax those areas. Tension elsewhere in your body can interfere with pleasurable sensations and blood flow to the genital area. Be prepared for your arousal to fluctuate rather than follow a linear progression. This is completely normal and not a sign that anything is wrong. If arousal decreases, you can pause, breathe, perhaps apply more lubrication, or simply appreciate the sensations you are experiencing without pressure to maintain or increase intensity. Consider experimenting with different positions. Many men automatically use the same position they have used for decades without considering whether it still serves their changing body optimally. If you typically sit, try reclining with support behind your back. If you usually stand, try lying on your side with a pillow between your legs for support. Small changes in position can significantly affect blood flow and comfort, especially if you have developed any stiffness or circulation issues common with aging. Some men find that gentle aids designed specifically for aging bodies can enhance their experience. These might include warming devices, textured sleeves, or other tools designed to provide sensation without requiring firm pressure. These are not signs of dysfunction, any more than reading glasses or hearing aids are signs of dysfunction. They are practical tools that work with your changing body rather than against it. Throughout this entire process, practice self-compassion and patience. Your body is not broken or failing, it is aging, which is a natural and inevitable process. The changes you are experiencing are not personal failings, but universal human experiences that deserve understanding and adaptation rather than judgment or frustration. However, while many changes are completely normal, there are certain signs that warrant professional attention. As someone who has spent decades helping men navigate these issues, I want to ensure you know when to seek medical consultation versus when to simply adapt your approach. The first concern is persistent pain or discomfort during or after intimate contact. While some adjustment period is normal as you adapt your technique, ongoing pain, burning, stinging, or soreness that does not improve with gentler technique and adequate lubrication may indicate inflammation, minor infection, or tissue irritation that needs medical attention. These issues are typically very treatable when addressed early, but can worsen if ignored. The second warning sign is sudden or dramatic loss of sensation. While gradual changes in sensitivity are normal with aging, a sharp drop in feeling or complete numbness in any area may indicate nerve-related issues that benefit from early evaluation. The sooner these issues are addressed, the better the potential outcomes. The third concern is complete inability to achieve any arousal or erection, even in ideal, private, relaxed conditions. If what used to be possible has become impossible despite privacy, comfort, adequate time, and appropriate technique, this may indicate circulatory or hormonal issues that can often be effectively treated. This is not a reflection of your masculinity or worth as a person. It is simply a medical condition that may benefit from professional attention. The fourth warning sign is significant emotional distress related to intimate self-care. If you find yourself feeling anxious, ashamed, deeply frustrated, or disconnected during or after intimate moments with yourself, this emotional component deserves attention. Sexual health and emotional well-being are intimately connected, and addressing both together often leads to better outcomes than focusing on just the physical aspects. I want to emphasize that consulting with a urologist or other qualified healthcare provider is not an admission of failure or weakness. It is an act of self-care and self-advocacy. You do not need to wait until something goes seriously wrong to seek professional guidance. A consultation can provide reassurance, practical strategies, and early intervention if needed. When approaching healthcare providers about these concerns, you do not need to feel embarrassed or use euphemisms. You can simply explain that you have noticed changes in how your body responds during solo intimate activity and wonder whether these changes are part of normal aging or something that warrants attention. Most experienced healthcare providers will understand exactly what you mean and respond with the professionalism and respect you deserve. As we conclude our time together today, I want to leave you with this essential understanding. Intimacy with yourself after 60 is not about trying to recapture what once was, but about discovering what is possible now. It is about working with you, your body as it is today, rather than fighting against the changes that time naturally brings. Your worth as a person, your masculinity, and your capacity for pleasure are not diminished by the need to adapt your approach. In fact, men who successfully navigate these changes often report that their intimate experiences become more mindful, more satisfying, and more connected than they were in their younger years when everything seemed automatic and effortless. The techniques we have discussed today are not just about physical satisfaction, but about maintaining a healthy, positive relationship with your own body as it evolves. This relationship affects your confidence, your mood, your stress levels, and your overall quality of life in ways that extend far beyond intimate moments. At Vital Hormone, we believe that every stage of life offers its own possibilities and gifts, including the stage you are in now. The key is having the right information, the right techniques, and the right mindset to make the most of this phase of your life. Remember that adaptation is not defeat, it is evolution. Your body is not failing you. It is simply communicating in a new language that you can learn to understand and respond to effectively. With patience, knowledge, and appropriate technique, you can maintain a fulfilling, intimate relationship with yourself for many years to come. Thank you for joining me for this important conversation. If you found this information valuable, I encourage you to explore more of our content here at Vital Hormone, where we address the real concerns and questions that matter to men navigating the changes that come with aging. Until next time, be patient with yourself, be kind to your body, and remember that taking care of yourself is always worth the effort.